What's up, everyone? Today I thought we'd have some fun. I want to teach you guys a little bit about how to vet boats and how to find them and how to tell if they're good and bad. So today we've got 5 good boats and 5 bad boats, and we're going to go through all of them really fast, and I'm going to tell you why. Some of them have red flags, some of them are bad models, some of them are great boats, some of them are a little older, and some of them are a nightmare. So stay with me. Let's go. The number 1 boat on my good list is Lark. This boat is beautiful. I actually have a client that went and looked at this boat. He relayed to me that the owner of this boat put a lot of money into it, and it shows. I mean, it looks like this thing's ready to go right now. It's kind of at the higher end for Valiant 42s, but it's got a new leisure furl boom system. It's got new furlers, it's got new sails. It looks like somebody spent a lot of money. The canvas has been redone. This is a great boat if you want to buy something and go. If you just don't want to mess around, you don't want to have to learn a bunch of systems and replace a bunch of things, this is a great boat for that, and this is why it's number 1 on our list. Number 1, not so good boat, is this Oyster Lightwave 48. Now, if you've ever seen any of my videos, you know that if I see an ad and it's got a drawing of the boat as its first photo in the ad, that's already a red flag to me. The second is the layout, which is also should be at the end of the ad. And then we get a fuzzy picture of a boat with a big stack pack on it. Who knows from when? So now we're on picture 11, and we finally get to the current pictures. This is what the boat actually looks like right now. Now we can really see what happened is somebody took the mast down and started a project, didn't put any of the running rigging away, so now the running rigging is going to be totally screwed. It's been sitting in the elements. How hard is it just to wrap up some lines, put them away, put some mouse lines into the deck? It looks like this thing's missing pieces here. It looks like the floor is completely needs to be done. There's the battens for the sails, so at least it's got some battens. Who knows where the sails are? It looks to me like somebody started a project and then just didn't want to finish it, or ran out of money, or who knows, but this boat is a little bit trashed. This thing needs some serious work. That said, it's not all bad. You get good bones with an Oyster, and for 85 grand, you're not going to get into a 48-foot Oyster in any other circumstances for that. So this could be right for the right person, but for me, it's got enough red flags where it's a hard pass. All right, number 2 good boat on our list is this Mason 43. If you watch my channel at all, you know I love Masons. I took one across the Pacific, and I really fell in love with that boat and that design and the whole story where Mr. Mason had worked at Sparkman Stevens forever. This was kind of his legacy boat. He took all the knowledge that he had over 35 or 40 years of designing and put it into this boat, and I just really like the way it feels. That said, she's a full keel boat, and some people don't like that, so beware, buyer beware. But this looks like a very good example of classic boat built in Taiwan. This boat would cost millions of dollars to reproduce now. They're super heavy, full fiberglass, beautiful, nice sailing boats that won't break the bank. These are probably $110,000, $115,000 boats. Look, 105 grand. Okay, so the only problem with buying a boat in this era is that the systems all need to have been updated or will need to be updated. So if you're getting a boat from 1984, it's 2025 now, so that's 41 years old. You're going to have to update every single system. All of the hoses get brittle, the refrigeration system, the cooking system, the propane lines, the plumbing, everything needs to have been updated. So some of it could have been refit in the last 20 years. Some of it needs to be refit by you. So you just have to figure out how much of this list has been replaced before you go look at this boat. Number 2 on our bad list is the Hunter Passage 42. So again, first of all, the first picture we have is, what is this? Why are you showing me this? Is this the rake on the spreaders I'm looking at? Horrible first picture, thank you very much. Here's a picture of it out of focus. Here's another out of focus picture of the decks. Here's a picture of the transom that's finally beautiful. So by the fourth picture, we're good to go. And now we know what the transom looks like. Really, I don't have to look at this to tell you that this is not a good boat for offshore. I don't like these boats. I understand that they have a lot of room. They're very, very open. Well, that's part of the problem. This is not an offshore saloon. And having a full-size washer is great. That's great for a dock queen. But this is not something that you find on any other 42-foot boat. There's not enough room because they need the cruising gear to go there. So these are not cruising boats. They're too light, they're too tender, and usually they're short keels, and their motion comfort on this boat is horrible. If you want to learn more about motion comfort, please check out my book. Go buy Be the Captain, because I have a huge, chapter 2 is all about how to pick a boat and what motion comfort is and how it works and how the keel interacts with that, and basically why a 142 is not a good boat offshore. You get a ton of boat, I understand. You get a ton of boat for a very small price, but there's a reason for that. You cannot find any other boat at 70 grand with an aft cabin like this with 6'3" of headroom throughout. If you want a dock queen, great. If you want to live on the boat, awesome. If you wanted a coastal cruise, even better. But sailing around and actually cruising and having to go upwind and possibly getting caught out in storms, this is not the boat. Number 3, awesome boat on our Angels list is this 1990 Pacific Seacraft Creock 44. Now this is an awesome boat. I've said many times on this channel that these Pacific Seacraft Creock versions are the cat's meow, and I mean it. This is a great boat. A lot of the times, these Pacific Seacraft boats are a little bit smaller than the LOA would make you believe. So like, if you buy a Pacific Seacraft 40, it's more like a 38. Or a 42 is more like a 40. A 44 would be more like a 42 inside. But these are super, super well-built boats. If you want to see the outfit and refit and choosing of one of these boats, you can go to Sailing Project Atticus. And Jordan and Des actually found one of these and bought it and refit it and took it across the Atlantic. And actually, I think I was there. Yeah, I was there with them. They were crossing with me. That boat was great for them. So if you really want to see what these are capable of and get a good in-depth look into the Pacific Seacraft brand, go check out their channel. This is a great boat. Everything about it I love. Protected prop, skeg hung rudder, just a well-built machine. This one needs a little work. It needs some love, but yeah, man. Nice cockpit. You can lay down in there and actually go to sleep and not worry about rolling out. Or more importantly, your sick crew can be in the cockpit, and they're always on the lee side, on the comfortable side, and you don't have to worry about them. You just strap them in, good to go. Okay, on our Devil's list, the number 3 is this Irwin 52 for $150,000. Now, these aren't bad boats, and I'm not digging on this exact boat. I'm just saying, my point here is that if you purchase a boat as your first boat for offshore, and it's an older version, and it's big, like this is a 52-foot LOA, you're going to have the money to pay for the repairs and the refit and the inevitable maintenance costs that come along with having a big-ass boat like this. And it's really not even this specific boat that I'm getting down on. It's really just the idea of, hey, let's buy a big, huge boat and get a lot of space and have all of our friends come down, and we can get it cheap if we buy an older Irwin. Well, the problem is not as many people are going to come visit you as you think. Okay, let's just get that straight right away. So don't buy a boat for people that aren't even there with you now. Buy a smaller boat for whoever's going to go with you. If you have a family of 6, maybe you need a 52-foot boat. But if you don't, if it's just you and your wife, or just you and your wife may come and join you every once in a while, having a 52-foot boat and paying for a 52-foot boat is ridiculous. I think what this is the first chart plotter ever made by human beings. The problem is not that the electronics are old. The problem is that this is a red flag saying, hey, some of these systems have not been updated. This is for a long time. And this boat may have other systems that need to be updated. I have not looked into this boat specifically, so if this is your boat, it may have all new everything except the electronics. I don't know. That's your job. I'm just pointing out red flags that I see. Okay, number 4 angel boat on our list is this 1983 Little Harbor 44. These boats are kind of a cult classic boat. They were designed by Ted Hood, and they had a different design for the ballast, and they hold their value really well. They're kind of coveted by a lot of people. They are arguably some of the best boats ever built because of the way that they built their ballast, and they're very nice, very sought after, very easy to sell boats. This one is actually really cheap. So these little harbors usually don't drop below 150,000. This one's 115,000 right now. So this may be a very, very good boat for somebody. Again, I have not dived into this really deeply, but this looks like a nice boat. It's laid out really well. The cockpit's nice. This boat is made to go around the world and to go cruising, and it'll sail really well. The one thing I don't like about these boats is they don't have a skeg on the rudder, but not having a skeg actually makes the water flow better around the rudder and makes it perform better. So it's one of those trade-offs. Every boat's a trade-off, but this is a pretty boat, and I think if you had $100 grand and you were looking for a boat, I would have this on your short list. All right, the second to last devil boat, we'll call it a devil boat, is this 1969 Sparkman Stevens centerboard ketch. Now, I know that this is a famous boat. I know that the Pardees were on this boat and they sailed this boat, and it's super cool and super big and super piratey, and I kind of want to buy it. It's such a cool boat, but there are a couple things on this boat that are just a huge red flag for me, and I have to tell you guys about it. The first thing is the wooden masts. Wooden masts and spars on a sailboat are always a bad idea in 2025. It is a nightmare. Once they start to go, they're gone. And then you have to just either make more or buy some aluminum ones. And I don't prefer having wooden masts. Even if I was going to build a wooden boat, I would have steel masts on the boat just because wood is a problem. Another thing is the damn thing is 60 feet long. It is a behemoth boat. I don't know what it weighs. It's not really a big deal what it weighs. What matters is you're going to have to pay for a 60-foot boat. All the lines are bigger. It's a ketch, so it's going to have a ton of standing rigging. Anytime you're going to refit this boat, you're paying for 60 foot of boat. And boats don't just go up on an XY scale in a straight line. It's logarithmic. Like, this boat will cost you double or triple what a 42-foot boat will cost. Usually, a boat like this is kind of a dream killer if you want to do some serious offshore cruising. This boat would be super fun if you just wanted to buy like a Caribbean cruiser and go around the Caribbean and chill and be cool and, have a little party boat on the, a couple months a year. Perfect boat for that. But if you want to actually go far, oh my God, this thing is beautiful. Wow. At the same time, I'm telling you not to buy it. I kind of want to buy it. This is a cool boat. Anyway, I would think this would be a nightmare for somebody. All right, last angel boat on our list. What is it? It's a 1963. Did he just say 63? Hinckley B40. This is an awesome boat, man. It's like a time capsule. Okay, so first picture kind of sucks. It's kind of grainy, and it's from a long time ago where the boat was still in the water. All these pictures, like this, why did you even include this picture in here? I can't even see the boat from here. So what this looks like is somebody's taking a picture of a picture. And what this tells me is it's probably an old picture of the boat that was on the water, and it hasn't been on the water for a while. Now we get to the actual boat where it is now. It's in somebody's garage, covered up, and it is beautiful. This is like a time capsule. These Hinckley boats are built in the United States. They're super good joinery. Back then, they just built powerful machines that could handle the offshore. I love the shape of this boat. Somebody has gone through this thing in the last 10 years, it says in the description, yeah, it says from 2008 to 2018, somebody has gone through and revamped this entire boat. And it shows. I mean, this is all new electronics, a new switch panel. It looks like new floors, or at least they redid the floors. This is a freaking stunning boat. Stunning. It's got bronze ports, or at least steel ports. I can't really tell. It might be a play with the light. It's not going to have the space that a newer boat will, because the way that they build boats now is a lot different than the way they built boats and designed boats in the 60s. But I'm telling you, man, this is one of those boats that you're going to get in your dinghy and go away from and just keep turning back and being like, wow, I have a beautiful boat. You know, they don't build boats like this anymore. This boat would cost $1 million if you had it built now. This is $1 million boat. And what's it selling for? 150 grand. Yeah, it's going to be a little on the small side. So this is like, you know, somebody that's looking for a solo boat, perfect. Somebody that's looking for a couple boat, perfect. Somebody that's looking for something with a swim platform and like the newer accoutrement, like you can't compare a Catalina 40 and a Hinckley 40 from 1963. It's just not the same boat. But I got to tell you, I freaking love this boat. It's just so pretty. The lines are so pretty. I know just by looking at it, it's going to sail super well. Okay, and the last boat that I have some red flags about for you is this Trip 47. Anytime you see a sailboat, a modern sailboat with a giant wheel like that, almost every time they're race boats. Just be very careful. That's a big red flag for me when I see that, because a lot of the time they'll have really deep draft and they're pretty lightly built and they have really tall rigs, and it just makes the stresses on the boat crazy. And if this boat has been ridden hard and put away wet, you can have problems with it. It can have delamination problems. It can have separation from the grid. It can have all kinds of things. This is a rich man's toy. It is not a cruising boat. You can tell by the bottom profile of this boat. It's got no skeg on the rudder at all. That's for performance. It's got a really long keel for performance. This thing would make an absolutely horrible offshore boat. It would pound like hell. It would get stressed out to the max. It would start falling apart on you. Stay away from converting race boats into cruising boats. Okay, if you guys are interested in learning more about what makes a good boat for offshore, how motion comfort works, and how the different keel types affect sailing characteristics and wave punching, and how different cockpit and deck layouts matter, pick up a copy of my book, Be the Captain. Chapter 2 is completely dedicated to how to choose an offshore boat, and it's 11 subchapters with all this information, and it's a really good resource for you. Thank you for watching. Much love. And I know I promised you guys last week that I'd be going over rig types. I do have that video scripted. It was just a little too much information for this week. So don't worry, I'm going to put that information out next week, but it's going to require a little bit more work than I thought. As usual, I mean, some of these topics are just really difficult to put into a concise YouTube video. You know, I could talk about this stuff for hours. And to make it something that people will watch and actually get benefit out of, it takes me a little longer to script it. I've got already 2 days scripting that thing, but it'll take a little more, which is worth it. I think you guys really appreciate it, and thank you for your support. And yeah, see you next time.